Stop Hazara genocide! Stop Hazara genocide!
سلام به بینندگان عزیز. ما از شهر ونکوور کانادا در مقابل آرت گالری داونتاون ونکوور برنامه گردهمایی بزرگ مردمی به خاطر توقف نسل کشی هزاره ها و یادبود از جانباختگان مرکز آموزشی کاج گردهم آمده ایم.
On whose traditional and unceded territories we are privileged to work and live. I welcome you and deeply appreciate the presence of each single one of you in this peaceful demonstration to raise awareness and protest against the injustice, brutalities, violence, killings, and forced migration caused by Taliban and terrorist groups in Afghanistan. These are the things that are faced by all Afghans, but specifically and in more extreme level and in a systematic pattern of events by Hazara people in Afghanistan and Pakistan.
Stop Hazara genocide!
Stop Hazara genocide!
Hazara's education matters! Stop Hazara genocide!
Stop Hazara genocide!
Stand with Hazaras!
Stand with Hazara!
Stand with Hazaras!
Stand with Hazara!
We are here to demand an end for the systematic injustice against Hazaras in Afghanistan. We are here to stand in solidarity with the families of the victims who lost their loved ones at the previous or the last terrorist attack in Afghanistan. Hazaras has been killed at wedding ceremonies, public buses, hospitals, educational centers. And yes, we are here today to raise the voice of those mothers who lost their loved ones, who lost their daughters, who lost their sons in the terrorist attacks in Afghanistan. All those Hazara families. And we are here to show our sympathy to the families of the victims.
Education's murder! Stop Hazara genocide! Hazara lives matter! Hazara lives matter! Stop Hazara genocide! Stop Hazara genocide! Stop Hazara genocide!
At the first part of our today's program, I would like to invite Mrs. Mabel Elmore, the Member of Legislative Assembly from Vancouver, to share a few sentences about Hazara genocide. Welcome, Mrs. Elmore.
Okay. Sahar, thank you very much. And friends, salam. Salam. Omidvara Shuma Kub Boshid. My name is Mabel Elmore. I'm the member of the Legislative Assembly, elected in Vancouver, Kensington. Since 2009, I join you in solidarity. I join you in sorrow. I join you in resolute resolve to show our sympathy for the families of the victims and our ongoing commitment for justice, not only for the victims, but the Hazara community in Afghanistan and around the world. Today, we are joining in a global movement to raise the voices and to raise awareness of the plight of the Hazara community. We are raising our voices around the world. And here in Vancouver, British Columbia, we're raising awareness of the more than century history of the persecution and genocidal acts against the Hazara community. Today, we are mourning the victims of this attack. We know there are many others, and Hazara in Afghanistan and many countries face persecution, face injustice, face discrimination, and it's wrong. I'm here to stand with you and all British Columbians and all Canadians in denouncing these terrible acts of violence, in standing with you, the community, here in British Columbia, across Canada, around the world, who say no and say we must stop the Hazara genocide. Stop the Hazara genocide. Stop the Hazara genocide. We must support the human rights of all members of the Hazara community who have been the victims of the discrimination and attacks. Every member of the Hazara community deserves to be treated with justice, deserves to be treated with dignity, and deserves to live their life free of fear, free of prosecution and persecution, and to be able to fill their potential and contribute to the well-being in their communities in Afghanistan, around the world, free of violence and with dignity and justice. And I join with you here today, resolute in solidarity for all victims, and also for the community to stand against injustice, to stand against persecution, to stand against this violence. It is an admiration. My heart is heavy and my heart is very sad to learn and to hear about these terrible acts of injustice in Afghanistan and around the world. It is an insult to all people, and it is a fight for all people who love democracy, who love human rights, who love people. This is a struggle not only of the Hazara community, it is a commitment of humankind, of the globe, of people around the world in every country who stand for democracy, who stand for human rights, who love people, and who uphold rights and human justice for girls to fully participate. This is a struggle for human rights for all of us, my friends. And so I join with you, and my message is one of solidarity. My message is one of love and understanding. My message, I stand here with sorrow in my heart, but also with commitment. With every breath, I stand with you and the Hazara community around the world, and Canadians and peace-loving people who love democracy, who stand up for human rights and social justice around the world, to bring justice, to end the persecution of the Hazara community. And we will stand here and raise our voices and ask the international community for justice, and to make sure that steps are taken for accountability, for the protection of the Hazara community in Afghanistan. The recognition of genocide, of this campaign, now over 1 century campaign of genocide against the Hazara community. So you have my commitment and you have my pledge to speak as well in the BC Legislature, the Legislative Assembly of British Columbia, in Victoria, to speak in solidarity and to raise the voices here, to raise awareness and also to raise support in the Legislature of British Columbia. And I extend an invitation to all of you to join me as my guests here, the community, to come to the Legislative Assembly of British Columbia and raise awareness of this plight. And so, friends, I conclude my remarks. Thank you very much for allowing me to join you today. I'm very honored and humbled. I want to encourage you to continue to stand in solidarity, to continue to build your community, to continue to be successful here, and count on my support. And all elected officials, all freedom-loving people, all people who love democracy, all who stand up for human rights, all that is decent in our world, and justice and dignity for not only the victims but all Hazara people are a foundation of that love around the world. So friends, continue your efforts. I will join you to raise awareness, to bring justice to this situation, and to bring solidarity. Teshakkur, Etihad. Solidarity to stop the genocide of Hazara.
Stop Hazara genocide!
Stop Hazara genocide.
Stop Hazara genocide!
Stop Hazara genocide.
Stand with Hazaras!
Stand with Hazara.
Stand with humanity!
Stand with humanity.
Stop Hazara genocide!
Stop Hazara genocide.
Stop Hazara genocide!
Stop Hazara genocide.
Stop Hazara genocide!
Stop Hazara genocide.
Stand with Hazaras!
Stand with Hazara.
Stand with Hazaras!
Stand with Hazara.
Stop Hazara genocide!
Stop Hazara genocide.
Stop Hazara genocide!
Stop Hazara genocide. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Elmore, for showing your sympathy and your solidarity and commitment to be the voice of voiceless. Now I beg your attention to announce why we are saying this is genocide. These events are not individual and random terrorist attacks. These are systematic massacre and genocide. Why? These are the reasons. Please just have a look at the series of events that happen on educational centers and schools. December 2017, attack on Tabian Central Educational Center, at least 125 killed and injured. It didn't stop here. We wish it did. On August 2018, a year later, Mawood Educational Center was attacked, at least 115 killed and injured. October 2022, attack on Kausar Danish Educational Center, killing and injuring at least 81 students. May 2021, Sayyid al-Shuhada, all girls school, at least 232 killed and injured. Mumtaz Educational Center, April 2022, killing and injuring 26 people. Again in April 2022, Abdul Rahim Shahid High School was attacked, at least killing 19 and injuring 19 people. So these are the reasons we are saying this is genocide. This is not just a terrorist attack. These are series of terrorist attacks on a specific community, Hazara people in Afghanistan specifically, and also in Pakistan. At this point, I would like to invite a responsible citizen of BC, Mr. Nicholas Horn, to talk about the reason why he joined us in this protest. Please give a round of applause to Mr. Nicholas Horn.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Nicholas Horn. I am a resident here of Vancouver. I am a good friend of Sadiqa as well. And while my exposure to the Hazara people is very new, I have seen a bright and beautiful people, rich in cultural history and steeped in tradition. Hearing the news of the most recent massacre of girls at school in Kabul called me to action to be here today, to stand with you I realize that I may have come from a privileged background that many of us do growing up here in Vancouver. I have no concept of the pain that many of you have experienced to be here today, nor do I have the pain of the Hazara community. But I feel it is important to be here today and denounce the genocide of the Hazara. I see you, I hear you, I stand with the Hazara. It is important for all of us in Vancouver to take a stand and call out those who hold, those terrorists who commit these atrocities. It is important to denounce violence anywhere in the world. It is important to denounce genocide anywhere in the world. Forced migration should not be tolerated. Genocide should not be tolerated. Murdering children at a school whose future is as bright as the sun should not be tolerated. Our world is rich and beautiful, more beautiful with the Hazaras. I stand here also affirming my commitment as a member of the Vancouver community to continue to raise awareness of this violence among the community and all people I come across. Thank you, and stop Hazara genocide.
Stop Hazara genocide!
Stop Hazara genocide.
Stop Hazara genocide!
Stop Hazara genocide!
Hazara lives matter!
Thank you so much, Mr. Nicholas, for showing your sympathy with Hazaras in Afghanistan. Marzia, one of the student victims of the College Educational Center, she wrote something on her diary about her wishes, what she wants or what she wanted. I'm going to read some of them for you. Meeting Elif Shafak, a very famous Turkish novelist and writer. Visiting Eiffel Tower. Eating pizza in an Italian restaurant. Riding bicycle at night. Walking on the parks. Yes, they are very, very common wishes of all the youths nowadays. They are very common. But Marzia's wishes have turned to ashes because she was a Hazara in Afghanistan and she killed or murdered in the recent terrorist attack in College Educational Center in Afghanistan. At this part of our program, I would like to invite Mr. Najibullah Maqsoodi to represent our statement to all of you. Please give a clap.
از اون از غرفه بگه از غرفه شاید چی باشه
Statement on the Stop Hazara Genocide campaign ongoing in over 90 countries. The Hazaras comprise one of the major ethnic groups in Afghanistan and are praised for their support and love for education, peace, human rights, women's rights, and democracy. Yet amid all these, the Hazaras have suffered discrimination, humiliation, and genocide on ethnic and religious grounds. Whilst Hazara's tragic history traces its roots long into history, it marked a human tragedy under the King Abdul Rahman reign from 1880 to 1901. The king committed a genocide against the Hazaras comparable to the Holocaust, the genocide of Rwanda, and killed 62% of Hazara population. The genocide also led to mass displacement, enslavement, and usurpation of 64% of their land. The Hazara genocide continues with greater magnitude and atrocity. Since 2002, the Hazaras have suffered over 300 suicide attacks, including the attacks on women and children hospital, tuition centers, and mosques. In the last attack on Hazara Education Center, Kaj, over 60 students were killed and another 130 were wounded. The series of attacks on Hazaras under the different governments at different times indicates the systematic, persistent, and organized character of Hazara genocide. The organized and deadly attack on Hazaras are carried out because of ethnicity, race, and religion. The Hazara genocide has been acknowledged by impartial observers and genocide experts. According to Article 2 of the Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of Genocide, the statutes of the International Courts for former Yugoslavia and Rwanda, the International Criminal Code, and the existing jurisprudence in these international courts, the attacks on Hazaras clearly count as genocide. Therefore, the global campaign to protest against the Hazara genocide in order to condemn and prevent the recurrence of genocide and to support the victims of genocide and terrorist crimes expects and demands from the international community, especially the United Nations, the European Union, the International Criminal Court, the United States of America, Government of Canada, and human rights institutions the following. 1. The United Nations Security Council should take appropriate, supportive, and urgent measures based on Article 1 of the 1948 Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of Genocide regarding the cessation of the genocide of the Hazara. 2. The United Nations member states and human rights organizations to form international observers and fact-finding teams to assess the depth of the atrocities and continuation of the threats and dispatch them to Afghanistan to ensure the cessation of the Hazara genocide. 3. The United Nations member states and human rights institutions to recognize the genocide of the Hazaras by referring to the 1948 Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crimes of Genocide and the Statute of the International Crime Court and protect the Hazaras against genocide. 4. The United Nations Security Council and the Prosecutor of International Criminal Court to refer the Hazara genocide to International Criminal Court based on their jurisdiction, and the court should investigate the deal and deal with it urgently. 5. According to Article 25 of the Statute of International Criminal Court, the perpetrators, assistants, and planners of the genocide of the Hazaras, regardless of their official position, should be identified, investigated, and trailed before the court of justice. 6. The countries which accept refugees, particularly Canada, the countries which accept refugees and the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, UNHCR, to prioritize the Hazara refugees who are forced to seek refuge due to the fear of genocide and to provide them with dedicated services. The last but not the least, 7. The United Nations, member states, and international organizations to support the victim of genocide and other terrorist attacks and directly supervise the provision of humanitarian aid. Thank you.
Hazara, Hazara! Hazaras, Hazara! Hazara lives matter! Stop Hazara genocide! Stop Hazara genocide! Stand with Hazaras! Stand with Hazaras! Stop Hazara genocide! Stop Hazara genocide!
Thank you so much, Mr. Maksudi, for reading the statement. Many of my friends from other ethnic groups in Afghanistan, we had a long discussion that yes, we know that we are all suffering in Afghanistan and it is caused by Taliban, we know that. But the attacks on Hazaras are very different and they are systematic and they are targeting specifically Hazaras. But here, I want to acknowledge that many people are suffering in Afghanistan, and I would like to appreciate the presence of our countrymen from all tribes and all ethnic groups. Thank you for being here with us. We appreciate your presence. As my friend Sahar told us, that wishes of Marzia was very common wishes for any teenager. At this point, I would like to invite Muhaddisa Sarwari to represent youth and students, which is at the same age like retirees of College Educational Center. Please give a round of applause to Muhaddisa.
Eleanor Roosevelt once stated, "The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams." This single sentence has sparked inspiration to every corner of the world, except for in my country, Afghanistan. Because in my country, simply believing in your dreams is not enough. You see, like thousands of other Hazara children, I was raised in a household that prioritized my education over anything else. A household that embraced courage, determination, and curiosity. A household where my parents sacrificed their lifelong dreams so that I could achieve mine. And although I am lucky enough to have everything I need to achieve my dreams, there are countless other girls and women in my country that do not have that privilege. These are children who have fought fiercely for their right to live, study, and work. These are people like you and me. These are people who have ambitions, desires, and hopes for their futures. These are children who are brutally deprived of their basic human rights as the rest of the world sits and watches. Have our people not suffered enough? Were the decades of slavery suffering the Hazaras have been subjected to for a century. In the past, as Hazara Afghans, we never had a choice in being targeted for our beliefs and our appearance. We never had the choice to abandon our homeland and our families. But today is a new day, because today we have the luxury of choice. We can choose to stay silent and ignore this brutal genocide. Or we can choose to use our voices to stand up for those who can't. We can use our voices to speak up for those who can't, to protest for those who can't, and most importantly, to seek justice for those who can't. Today, we are gathered here to mourn the loss of the innocent young children whose only crime was striving for a better future. Most importantly, today we are here to commemorate and salute the courage, bravery, and determination of our young Hazara children. Thank you.
Hazara lives matter. Stand with Hazaras. Stop Hazara genocide. Stop Hazara genocide.
Dear friends, thank you for your gathering today. I would like to attract your attention to my remarks, which includes but not limited to the following. We know that the government officials of Canada have met with the representative of Taliban at least on 13 occasions in Qatar since it swept to the power in Afghanistan. Unlike Foreign Affairs Department in the United States and Pakistan, Canada does not provide regular updates to its citizens on its talk with the Taliban in Afghanistan. Our concern is that the Canadian government, like the United States, may end up agreeing on a shameful political understanding with the Taliban. Such an agreement with the Taliban means violating the moral, spiritual, and human values on which the Canadian society is based on. We here, through you, Ms. Elmore, as a representative of legislative pillar of the BC government, want to convey our message to the federal government, which includes but not limited to the following. 1. The federal government of Canada must stop its talk with the Taliban. Taliban is an oppressive and bloodthirsty regime that never will respect democratic and moral values of our world. Taliban's survival, existence, and durability is on destruction and killing and innocent of Hazaras and other people who are seeking peace and enlightenment for their children in Afghanistan. 2. An indifferent government or system is far more dangerous than a bloodthirsty and ruthless group like Taliban, because the indifference of such government gives Taliban more courage to insult, suppress, humiliate, and kill us with their suicide attack every day. The world, and especially the Canadian government, should no longer remain indifferent to the crimes of the Taliban regime and other extremist groups against Hazaras in Afghanistan. The international community, and especially the Canadian government, can no longer remain indifferent to the killing of Hazaras in Afghanistan. The world must loud and clear shout with us, stop Hazara genocide!
Stop Hazara genocide!
Stop Hazara genocide!
Stop Hazara genocide! Justice, justice. Hazara lives matter. Stop Hazara genocide.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Muhaddisa and Mr. Bakshi, for your kind words. At this part of our program, I would like to invite Mr. برای, a member of BC Hazara Association, to talk about the recent terrorist attack that happened at Khanj Educational Center.
تشکر میکنم از حضور و تشریف آوری تک تک شما خانم‌ها، آقایان و همه عدالت‌خواهان در آرکالری شهر ونکوور کانادا. با صدای انسانی استاپ هزاره جنوساید امروز با ما یکجا شدیم. استاپ هزاره جنوساید! استاپ هزاره جنوساید! جهان از شکوه حماسه شما به لرزه افتاده. در 5 قاره جهان، در 53 کشور و در بیش از 121 شهر کوچک و بزرگ جهان امروز صدای استاپ هزاره جنوساید دنیا را به لرزه انداخته است. نسل کشی هزاره ها و کشتار سیستماتیکشان از 100 سال بدین سو ادامه دارد. در سال 1993 عبدالرحمن بیش از 62% هزاره ها را قتلعام کرد. سرزمین هایشان غصب، زنان و مردان و کودکانشان به بردگی گرفته شد. در دوران جمهوریت و امارت اول و دوم نیز جنوساید هزاره ها ادامه پیدا کرد. در کشتار سیستماتیک کاج در 30 سپتامبر 2022 بیش از 53 دختر دانش آموز کشته و بیش از 100 نفر زخمی شدند. حمله هدفمندانه بر تظاهرات مسالمت آمیز جنبش روشنایی، مرکز آموزشی موعود، کورس کوثر دانش، مکتب سید الشهدا، شفاخانه نسایی دشت برچی، کلب میوان و دهها حمله هدفمندانه دیگر. در مجموع از سال 2007 تا 2022 بیش از 7000 هزاره به شکل هدفمندانه توسط طالبان، داعش و سایر گروه‌های تروریستی در افغانستان کشته شدند. ما از سازمان ملل و همه کشورهای دنیا آزاد دنیا می‌خواهیم که کشتار سیستماتیک هزاره ها را به رسمیت بشناسند.
Stop Hazara genocide. Hazara lives matter. Hazara lives matter.
خلاص بس دیگه بوده که دیگه خلاص دیگه اون دشوار میگه خلاصه.
Stand with Hazara. Stop Hazara genocide. Stop Hazara genocide.
دیگه استیتمنت فریده رو بس
مخصوصاً از دولت محترم کانادا، از قابلشان مقامات دولتی،
بعد اینا دیگه باید برای اینا باشه.
از آقای جاستین ترودو خواهشمندیم تا جنوساید هزاره ها را با عنوان یک جرم از ضد انسانیت و رسمیت بشناسند. Stop Hazara genocide. Stop Hazara genocide.
Stop Hazara genocide.
ما همچنین از دادگاه جهانی بین‌المللی و سایر نهادهای حقوق بشری در دنیا می‌خواهیم تا جنوساید هزاره را به رسمیت بشناسند و همچنین از دولت‌های جهان و مخصوصاً از دولت کانادا خواهشمندیم تا در حمایت از مهاجرین و پناهندگان افغانستان در سراسر دنیا گام‌های عملی را بردارند. از تمام کشورهای دنیا می‌خواهیم تا رژیم تروریست طالب را به رسمیت نشناسند. بیش از 15 تروریست بین‌المللی و ده‌ها قاچاقچی مواد مخدر بین‌المللی در کابینه افغانستان حضور دارند. یک بار دیگر از حضور سخت شما تشکر می‌کنم.
آقای ناصری صحبت می‌کنه.
What do you want? What do you want?
کنند ولی دیگه
Stop Hazara genocide!
میفهمم که
Stop Hazara genocide!
داره با چند دقیقه واسه کنش کنست که باید تک صحبت کنم خب مقصد که
Thank you
قیمت
so
بیاد
much, Mr. Bursayi, for your kind words. And at this part of our program, I would like to invite Mr. Inayat Allah Nashiri to say a few sentences.
خلاص دیگه
نه کی گفت یک دقیقه صبر
اما دیگه دقیقه دیگر
نه میگه زیر از bayrak فامیل ما کشته میشیم خود زیر bayrak طالبان فکر رو مسئله نیست میگه
قال خلاص
از تمام حاضرین من با قاضی صحبت میکنم. ممکن است صحبت من یک مقدار تفاوت داشته باشه.
آخرین
بله تشکر. طالبان کیست؟ بله یک تروریست است. طالبان یک پروژه است. طالبان پروژه هست به خاطر تأمین منافع استراتژیک پاکستان، عربستان سعودی و امریکا. ما طالبان را باید بشناسیم. طالبان ارزش در پاکستان تولد شده، بزرگ شده، تربیه شده، تربیه اسلامی شده، در مدارس اکولا خطر، مدارس افغانی و مدارس دیگه دیوبندی اینا تربیه شدن. اینا نه در افغانستان تولد شدن، نه بستر روزشان در جامعه افغانستان بوده و نه از افغانستان هستند. اینا نیروی تروریست و مافیای مواد مخدر است که من حیث یک پروژه در افغانستان آمده. بنابراین من فقط همی قرار میگفتم که خود ما اگر علیه طالب استاد نشویم هیچ کس استاد نمیشه. ما اگر به مقاومت یک جای نشیم هیچ کس علیه طالب استاد نمیشه. اول خود ما باید حق خود بگیریم. اوکی.
Down with Taliban from Kabul to Tehran. Down with Taliban from Kabul to Tehran. Down with Taliban from Kabul to Tehran.
So we are reaching end of our program and we give the stage to our Persian friends that are here for the events that are happening in Iran. One of them, a Persian friend from Iran, wants to show her solidarity with us, and this is the end of our program. Thank you so much everyone for coming today.
Stop Hazara genocide!
Stop Hazara genocide!
Stop Hazara genocide!
Stop Hazara genocide!
Okay. Hello everybody. Salam دوستان. من از طرف کامیونیتی ایرانی میخوام از تمام دوستان افغانستانی دعوت کنم اینجا بمونن. درد ما درد شماست. 42 سالی نکبت اسلامی، نکبت طالبان در افغانستان و نکبت جمهوری اسلامی در ایران داره مردم ما رو خفه میکنه، زنان ما رو خفه میکنه. ارزش و قرب ما زنانی که در خاورمیانه هستیم، در ایران، در افغانستان، در عراق و خیلی از کشورها، اسلام سیاسی، اسلامی که تو قدرته ما رو نابود کرده. ما اینجا به عنوان ایرانیایی که همدرد شماییم میفهمیم اینها تشییعی برای زنان ایرانی، زنان افغانی و زنانی که جاهای دیگه ارزش قائل نیستن، اینها رو باید به اصل حجر پرتشون کرد. اینها رو باید از خاورمیانه بیرونشون کرد. Down with Taliban, down with Islamic regime of Iran, It's 3 p.m. Iranian. We're going to have program. We're going to start our program. Thank you, our Afghanian friends. Thank you for being here. We are your supporter. Okay, music بذاریم بچه.